haven't heard from anybody, but to be honest with you, I shut my phone off after work, so I was just in chill.
Molly Qerim has reportedly been fired from ESPN following her comments about Caitlin Clark.
Exactly what I'm saying, because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their attention, and they're not as talented, we're not putting the...
Molly Qerim allegedly made controversial remarks during the live broadcast, stating that Caitlin Clark had made a mockery of women's sports. Qerim claimed Clark was lowering the quality of play and receiving attention mainly due to her fan engagement, rather than her skills on the court. In contrast, last night's Wnba game between the Indiana Fever and Washington Mystics, which the Fever lost by just 1 point, became the most attended game in Wnba history. The Mystics had moved tonight's game, featuring Caitlin Clark, to a nearby NBA arena, setting a new all-time Wnba attendance record. It's impossible to overstate Clark's impact on the league. Her performances are consistently drawing record crowds and captivating audiences across the country. Despite this, some sports analysts, including ESPN's Molly Qerim, have questioned whether Clark is actually elevating the sport. With incredible stats and highlight-worthy plays in every game, Clark has become a household name. But why are some still suggesting her success might be undermining the sport? The conversation is further fueled by players like Angel Reese, who argue that they also significantly contributed to the sport's growth. So, is it Caitlin Clark's undeniable talent and dedication that's transforming the game, or is her popularity just about the crowds? One thing is clear. Clark is a revolutionary figure in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark's on-court performances have drawn widespread attention, but not all of it has been positive as she ascends to stardom. ESPN analysts, notably Molly Qerim, have been particularly vocal in their criticism of Clark. What could have been celebrated as a groundbreaking moment for women's sports has instead ignited a heated debate about Clark's impact on the game and her role in its future. While Clark's record-breaking achievements and undeniable talent speak for themselves, the media's reaction, especially from figures like Qerim, has sparked conversations around jealousy, sexism, and the double standards female athletes often face. Molly Qerim, one of ESPN's most prominent voices, made waves when she accused Caitlin Clark of making a mockery of women's basketball. Qerim's sharp and unexpected remarks quickly gained the attention of both basketball fans and sports analysts. But what did Qerim truly mean by this accusation, and is there any validity to it? The answer is clear: there isn't. Clark's contributions are reshaping women's sports in an unprecedented way, and the controversy surrounding her only highlights the barriers female athletes continue to face.
Wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league, and she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement. Targeted by society, targeted by her looks, targeted by her reputation, targeted by the disrespect that they've shown to the WNBA. There's a huge target on this kid's back. I thought Cameron Brink said something really smart. She said, now they're expecting this rookie class to be perfect. This rookie class isn't even one of the best rookie classes.
Cham's argument suggests that while Caitlin Clark has undeniably drawn large crowds and increased viewership for women's basketball, she hasn't truly elevated the overall level of play, according to Molly Qerim. Qerim contends that Clark's flashy style of basketball lacks substance, making her more of an entertainer than an athlete. She implies that Clark's appeal lies with casual fans who enjoy the spectacle, rather than in her contributions to the quality and integrity of the game. Qerim's criticism appears rooted in the belief that Clark's game is too dependent on three-pointers and highlight reel plays, which some see as a departure from the fundamentals of basketball. Qerim argues that Clark's focus on scoring comes at the expense of team play, defense, and strategic aspects that she views as the backbone of the sport. However, when looking at Caitlin Clark's actual accomplishments, this narrative begins to unravel. Far from being just a spectacle, Clark has consistently proven herself as one of the most well-rounded and dominant players in women's basketball history. During her college career at the University of Iowa, she shattered records, becoming the youngest player in NCAA history to record multiple triple-doubles in a single season. Clark isn't just an elite scorer, though her scoring ability is remarkable. She is also a phenomenal passer, regularly leading her team in assists. Her basketball IQ is off the charts, enabling her to anticipate plays and make passes that leave defenders and fans alike in awe. The claim that Clark's game is purely entertainment-oriented crumbles when looking at the statistics. She doesn't just shoot three-pointers. She creates plays, dismantles defenses, and controls the tempo in ways that are rare for a player of any age. Furthermore, Clark excels on the defensive end, often guarding the opposition's best player and leading her team in steals. When Qerim asserts that Clark hasn't elevated the level of play in women's basketball, she seems to overlook the fact that Clark is accomplishing feats that have never been seen before. Far from diminishing the game, Clark is expanding the boundaries of what's possible in the sport, forcing opponents to rethink their strategies and raising the performance of her teammates. It's not just Qerim who dismisses Clark's impact. Monica McNutt has made similar comments, suggesting she would give Rookie of the Year to another player if Chicago finished ahead of the Indiana Fever, which they ultimately didn't. This kind of criticism reflects a broader tension in how some analysts perceive Clark's revolutionary contributions to the game.
I have said this all season, BC. My Rookie of the Year is going to go based on the standings. Okay. Because I think that is how you have the opportunity to measure impact.
And the sky's right above them.
And the sky right now are in the playoffs, so you'd have to give the nod in my mind to Angel Reese.
Again, what I think is happening here is this black woman is trying to play mental gymnastics and find a way to put Angel Reese above Caitlin Clark. Rookie of the Year does not go to a team. That's why it's called Rookie of the Year. It goes to an individual player. So wouldn't it make sense that you would analyze their statistics and analyze individual play overall? Like, this woman is doing all types of mental gymnastics in order to come to this conclusion so she can try to place Angel Reese above Caitlin Clark in that race. When the Fever in the future are ranked higher than the Sky, I'll be curious to see if she says the same thing. See if she then tries to maneuver.
One of the most remarkable aspects of Caitlin Clark's game is her unwavering consistency. Game after game, Clark delivers performances that would make any critic reconsider their stance. She isn't just a player who shines in isolated moments. She's consistently great, showcasing that her talent isn't a fluke, but the product of hard work, dedication, and an exceptional understanding of basketball. Take the 2021 to 2022 season, for example. Clark averaged 27 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds per game, numbers that would be MVP caliber in any league, let alone in the fiercely competitive realm of college basketball. She has routinely scored 30, 40, and even 50 points in games, carrying her team to victory again and again. When figures like Molly Qerim criticize Clark as being more of a show than a serious player, they overlook a key point. Clark's performances aren't for show. They are crucial to her team's success. Iowa wouldn't be where it is without Clark's ability to put up huge numbers, which is not a sign of selfish play, but rather a testament to her vital role within the team. Clark's record-breaking achievements speak for themselves. She was named a unanimous first-team All-American, became the first player in Big Ten history to record 1,000 points and 200 assists in a single season, and has shattered nearly every scoring record in her age group. But perhaps even more impressive is her incredible efficiency. Clark shoots over 45% from the field and nearly 40% from three-point range, statistics that demonstrate her precision and decision-making on the court. While Caitlin Clark continues to elevate her game, another player has inserted herself into the conversation, Angel Reese. Reese, who plays for LSU, has repeatedly claimed that she is the one who has brought women's basketball to new heights, and that the media has unfairly focused on Clark, overlooking her own contributions. In Reese's view, she has been unfairly cast as the villain while Clark is portrayed as the hero. This narrative from Reese highlights a broader tension in the coverage of women's basketball, raising questions about how media and fans perceive different players and their respective roles in shaping the sport. While both Clark and Reese have made significant contributions to the game, it's undeniable that Clark's consistency, record-setting performances, and team-first mentality have solidified her as one of the most influential players in the sport's history.
Understand, like, if they think it's personal, but when I get between the lines, if friends or anything, if my teammate right here went to play for another team, I'm going to be competitive, I'm going to talk trash to her just because I'm super competitive and that's what we do. But off the court, we're going to kick it and have fun. So I think that's a part of the game, and just trying to normalize, like, trash talking is okay, but not taking it personal off the court. And obviously that has become a thing and people are just trying to make it seem like it's something, but I love Caitlin and I love her game and I admire everything that she's done.
But is this narrative truly accurate, or is Angel Reese simply trying to keep herself in the spotlight by painting Caitlin Clark as her rival? Many fans and analysts believe that Reese's attempt to position herself as the villain is little more than a ploy for attention. While Reese is undoubtedly a talented player in her own right, her accomplishments pale in comparison to Clark's. Reese's claim that she is responsible for the growth of women's basketball seems to be more about self-promotion than reality. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has never engaged in public feuds with Reese or any other players. Clark has always maintained a respectful demeanor in interviews, never calling out other athletes or seeking to create drama. Despite her professionalism, Clark continues to be portrayed negatively by certain members of the media, while Reese, who has actively courted controversy, often seems to get a pass. This dynamic frustrates Clark's fans, who feel that she's being unfairly targeted simply because of her success. It seems as though the media is determined to find a flaw in her game or character, even when none exists. While Reese may enjoy playing the villain, it's clear that Caitlin Clark has no interest in engaging in such theatrics. She remains focused on one thing and one thing only: winning basketball games. This contrast, Clark's quiet dominance versus Reese's more attention-grabbing style, highlights a broader issue of how athletes are portrayed in the media, especially in women's sports. Ultimately, Clark's focus and commitment to her game continue to speak louder than any manufactured rivalry.
Basketball right now, it all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all.
The claim that Clark's game is purely entertainment-oriented crumbles when looking at the statistics. She doesn't just shoot three-pointers. She creates plays, dismantles defenses, and controls the tempo in ways that are rare for a player of any age. Furthermore, Clark excels on the defensive end, often guarding the opposition's best player and leading her team in steals. When Qerim asserts that Clark hasn't elevated the level of play in women's basketball, she seems to overlook the fact that Clark is accomplishing feats that have never been seen before. Far from diminishing the game, Clark is expanding the boundaries of what's possible in the sport, forcing opponents to rethink their strategies and raising the performance of her teammates. It's not just Qerim who dismisses Clark's impact. Monica McNutt has made similar comments, suggesting she would give Rookie of the Year to another player if Chicago finished ahead of the Indiana Fever, which they ultimately didn't. This kind of criticism reflects a broader tension in how some analysts perceive Clark's revolutionary contributions to the game.